Hi,
Hello,
Tenzin.
Jane.
I'm sorry, I had a hard time getting in.
No, that's okay. Actually, I could add in, so I just added you right now. That's no problem. I'm so happy to see you.
It's so nice to see you, and I'm excited to be here and hopefully help some people, entrepreneurs, anybody interested in fitness. I'm just happy to help.
Absolutely. I mean, thank you so much for being on my show, Jane.
Oh, I'm happy to do it.
Yes. So, to all our dear audiences, this is Jane Ellen Curth, the founder and CEO of FitFix Now and Health U. She is our very own dynamic and enterprising entrepreneur. Now, Jane, I also know that you are very passionate, avidly into teaching in the fitness industry. How has this been for you? Because you've had your own magnificent career in your own niche. Tell us a little bit about your holistic experience throughout this.
Okay, throughout my career, uh, how
Yes.
initially I was a ballet dancer and I owned a ballet studio. So,
Okay.
fitness exercise has always been important to me, but I had graduate degrees in kinesiology and health, and decided once I had three sons, once they were all in school, to go to teaching at the college level. Always been a dream of mine. So was hired at a Georgia State school and loved teaching. I've always loved, I love dance and I love health and fitness, but at heart, I'm a teacher and I want to help people and educate them. Um, so I taught, I was more of a temporary full time. I wasn't tenure track. And there was an opening at Emory University in Atlanta. And I applied for that position and got it. And really missed the school I came from because when I left, they were really starting to do online education. And my mentor at the university said, you need to take all the courses that the college is offering on online education because it's going to be the wave of the future. And I took her advice, and I love teaching face to face, but there was a challenge to do online education and to engage the students and help them feel like they were part of the course, of the community.
Sure.
So
Absolutely.
that was a passion of mine. And I also went further into doing what's called Quality Matters. It's a rubric for public schools and for college and universities, different rubrics, to make sure an online class is a quality class. And so I would review courses from other institutions in any discipline. Like I could review a biology course because there were certain standards it had to hit. So I did that. I went back to my original college, got hired tenure track, and that kind of started the journey to Health U and FitFix Now.
Sure. Absolutely. I think that sounds amazing because I know virtual classes, the training can be really challenging because you don't have the humane touch to that. So,
Exactly.
I'm very inquisitive to know this. Where does this inspiration stem out from? I'm very interested to know.
uh, Going into Health U. Health
Yes.
U was my
Yes.
first venture uh,
Okay.
as a online entrepreneur. I felt like I was an entrepreneur when I opened my dance studio
Mhm.
because that was a brick and mortar store, but as an online, especially at my age, to be an online technology person was interesting because there aren't many people. Now, one thing that really led me to start Health U was I created a course for the university. It was just a fitness walking course, but, and this was probably 2009, they had to get a heart rate monitor. And
Okay.
so we would do, we would get a resting heart rate, we'd do a pre-test fitness assessment, and then to see what category of fitness they were in. And then for 10 weeks, I was their personal trainer looking at heart rate data. So
Okay.
I would let them know if they worked out long enough, hard enough, frequently enough. And of course, their grade would reflect if they didn't do their workouts. It was so
Yes.
successful. It was so,
Right.
so, in fact, I got nominated for a state award for the course. And I thought, you know, if this is working, so people were saying this changed my life. I'm feeling better. I've lost weight. I'm looking better. And I thought, oh, if this is important for college students, what about, you know, the general public? And so I went more into corporate wellness for companies. And
Okay.
I did that for a while, but I got a little discouraged because I thought it's difficult to get a just anybody out there to strap on a heart rate monitor and go do a workout. They
Yes,
just,
I
they were,
agree. Couldn't
yeah,
agree more.
they were very sedentary. So,
Agree. I know.
yeah, I know. And it was frustrating because I think the secret to the college students that took the course, number one was the grade, but they had accountability. And so I thought that accountability would motivate them. And for
Mm.
a lot of people it did, because one person said, "Oh, I know that if you're going to be looking out at my workouts on Wednesday, if I only have in two by Tuesday, I'm going to make sure I go and do a
Yeah,
workout." So that was great. But there were some people that that accountability really didn't matter for.
I know.
So I got a little
How do you get
discouraged.
all the motivation? I mean, it's very difficult to give that push and exhilaration, you know? So
Yeah,
it's very difficult, very challenging for you, right?
yes. And
Yeah.
so
And
I
for
thought
anyone out there.
one of, I'm also certified to be a personal trainer.
Yes.
And one of my pain points was that I got certified to be a personal trainer in 1998. And we had to take a written test and wait weeks to find out if we passed. And because of my teaching at university, I really wasn't training many people. So I let it lapse. I thought, okay,
Okay.
you know, I'll let it go. And then in probably 2010, I decided to go before the college senate and get personal training course approved for college students, because I thought this would give them some extra income while
Yes.
they're a student, at at a better rate than just minimum wage. So I went before the college senate, I got it approved, and then I thought, how can I teach this course if I'm not certified? So I went through the pain of taking the 4 hour exam again. And I thought, oh,
Okay.
I wish I had kept up with my continuing education and I would not have had to take the exam again. So, because I mean, I taught it for so many years, but the stress of the exam and, I just wish I had continued with my continuing education. And one problem for personal trainers was that most of them got their continuing education by expensive conferences where they may have to
Yes.
travel far, uh, or they would get print material in the mail, which seemed antiquated for the 21st century. So I thought,
Yes.
I don't want to create online continuing education courses using the education model
Okay.
and create courses that are affordable, they're convenient, and they're totally online.
Okay.
So that's kind of the evolution from Help You to FitFix Now.
Yes, I think the evolution is really, I can see the graphical, the way it was at embryo stage and the way it picked
Yes.
up, the idea became an action, and now I think it's absolutely massive, a FitFix now. It's amazing what you guys do. This is something that most of the students wanted and needed for for getting that extra edge, as you mentioned. So
Yeah.
absolutely fantastic. Now, I'm sure the pandemic has, changed your life in some way, both on a professional and personal front.
Yes.
How has your life been now, post the outbreak of the coronavirus? Because I know all the guests that we've had on the Tenzin show before, everybody has their own way of
Yeah.
defining the way they have responded to the situation.
Yes.
So, how has it been for you post the outbreak of the pandemic?
Well, personally, it's been difficult. I know my son put on Facebook right after we were in the home, isolated, that he listed 10 things he missed. And the first one he said was hugs from my mom. And so that was
Okay.
meaningful to me, that he really missed my hugs. So I miss not having close contact with my family. I miss not really seeing my grandchildren because they grow up so fast. And one
Yes.
grandchild lives in Atlanta, but I have two grandchildren in New Orleans, Louisiana. So those are the personal things. The
Okay.
the business, it's been really interesting. I've worked from home for a long time, so that hasn't been. I do have co-working space at a technology hub in Atlanta, um, but I primarily work from home, so that hasn't been too much of an adjustment. The biggest thing has been trying to help the trainers that are out of work. Um,
True.
I know in March our sales were okay. In April had a very good month of sales. In May it's down, and then June has been really down. I think in the United States the gyms being closed, even though a lot of them are reopening, um, has taken a toll on the personal trainer.
Yes.
But the first thing I tried to do, because we do have a free course, to give people a sample that is approved by several agencies, just to give them an idea of what the process is like. But initially, with the pandemic, I wanted to get out a course on how to quickly get online to train clients, to try to help the trainers not lose as much income. And so we created a free course that was not for continuing ed credit, it was just for information, to try to do what we could to help these trainers during this difficult time, because my heart goes out to them.
Yes.
I mean, there's so many occupations that do, but they're in my realm, and so I
I know.
just feel so bad for the trainers.
Yes. And I think a lot of personal trainers, or anybody for that matter, adhere to more theory. But no
Yeah,
matter how much theory you have, if you're not practically there with your clients, whether it's virtual or actually working with them, gives you that first-hand experience and expertise. So you've had that. You've had a quotient of experience and expertise. What would be your golden advice to aspiring personal trainers or anybody in the fitness industry trying to make a mark?
well, I think the future of personal training is going to change, which isn't a bad thing, but it's probably going to be challenging. I think if a trainer does not train online, and in the US, there are a lot of trainers that do not train online, I think that will be necessary. I still think it's going to be necessary to do face to face training, but it's going to be essential to take the precautions. A friend of mine has a gym in Arizona, and he's not just a boutique gym. It's just a personal training facility. So a lot of his is just one-on-one. So it's easier to social distance, to wear masks. Um, he can even train outside, but um, small groups, you just got to be careful. You don't want to make it more dangerous for the client. They've got to feel like they're safe.
True. True, very true. I think now, as you mentioned, even on a professional and both personal front, you have been affected. Now, how are you taking care of your mental health throughout all this? Because situation is
Yeah,
perpetually changing.
yeah,
Nothing is constant now. Never in our wildest dreams do we ever think of something like the coronavirus,
right.
but it just erupted one day. And how have you been taking care of your mental health now?
That's a great question. Primarily through meditation.
Okay.
Um, I have done a course with a physician in the U.S. who has studied meditation and she created a course on meditation. I took that because it was excellent, and have the meditation, the mindfulness, gratitude is huge. Um, I'm doing some consulting work with a company that works with a lot of seniors that are, 80s, 90s. And I do a weekly session with them on spiritual wellness and well being and emotional wellness and well being. So as I study what I'm going to talk to them about, it encourages me to increase those types of things, like the mindfulness, like enjoying nature, being grateful, random acts of kindness. Those things are what enhance the quality of my life. And that's what wellness and well-being's all about, is enhancing the quality of your life.
Absolutely. So, what kind of meditation do you do? Like analytical meditation, theoretical meditation? What kind of any specialty that you are,
Yeah,
you
this
you
is more
practice?
I don't know if I'm saying this correctly, the Vedic meditation. Um,
Vedic. Okay.
yeah, yeah. So
Okay.
that's more what she teaches. So that's what I've been practicing. Um,
Sure.
and it's amazing. My level of anxiety has gone down.
Hmm.
I'm not as anxious. I'm not as fearful. Talking with the seniors once a week, last week we were talking about fears and how fears usually are based on our thoughts. And it may be a legitimate fear, but it may be like, I have a fear of snakes, and
Okay.
most snakes are not harmful. But
Most of us do fear snakes.
yeah,
Who
yeah,
doesn't?
right. And my when I was young growing up, my brother would show up with a snake to scare my mom. Thought it was funny,
Okay.
but so I think part of my fear is learned. But
Right.
some people love snakes, so it's kind of how I perceive it.
Right.
So
So I've also actually, I may be wrong here, but you do have a dance group, do you?
a dance group,
Yes.
not. Oh, I yes, I'm not.
Silver.
I'm
Something.
not currently dancing with them, but last year I danced
Uh-huh.
with an over 50 hip hop
Okay.
dance team that danced at the Atlanta Hawks, which is in Atlanta, Georgia, our basketball team, our professional basketball team. So that
That
was fun.
sounds great.
Dance is my love. I still take ballet class, even if it's online, a virtual class, because ballet, it has always been a way to um, escape into myself and think about the technique, the body placement. I've always loved to study movement and analyze
True.
and how to make it better. So ballet is like therapy for me too.
I mean, it's not easy for for a lot of us. It requires a lot of dedication, religiousness. I think you have to be very disciplined to be practicing that. You must have done it from a really young age, right?
I
Ballet?
did. I started very young and then left it for a while because I really wanted to pursue more being an ice skater. And, the ballet would help that. But then in my teens, went back to ballet.
Okay.
Actually, a lot of my graduate work was in dance.
Okay. That sounds exciting because I know that you're not someone who sort of is sitting in this one box. You want to keep experimenting, keep being adventurous, you know. So that's
Yeah,
something that I've noticed about you, which I think a lot of us should try because how would you know you like something if you don't try? So you have
ex-
to try everything. It's trial and error, right?
exactly.
Fantastic. Now,
And not
I
be
think
afraid
this
to
was
do it poorly. You got to try it and be okay if it's not the best.
true. Sure, you're gonna fail, but for sure you're gonna know your strengths and weaknesses. You're gonna work
Yes.
on them. So, what are your principles of success? Because this is a question I ask all my guests on the show. And
Yeah.
what is of paramount importance is that people, the audience, must learn from you, from your success story, right? So, what are your principles of success, and what is your way of success? What is your definition of success?
Well, initially, when I think about success, I think about balance in my life. Because, and that includes my occupational success, but you really want to balance your life. You want to balance it in the physical dimension, the emotional, the spiritual, the occupational. You want to have a balance because if you're too heavy on one side, something's not going to be good. It was always important for me to balance my family. Raising my sons was, so important to me, and they're, all adults now and doing well, very successful in their own realms. My middle son has a PhD in mathematics, and my oldest son is an attorney. So, and my youngest son helps me with FitFix now. He's a writer and a marketer.
Okay.
And so I think there's got to be a balance. I think, and when you consider your work, you want to work smart. I mean, everybody says work hard, and it is important to work hard, but it's also important to work smart.
Smart.
Know
Absolutely.
what's important and what needs to be done, and can someone else help you do it, or do you have to be the only one doing it? I've struggled with delegating. I'll tend to say, oh, I'll take on that, I'll take on that, and I've learned over the years, because I am in my 60s, that it's important to know when to ask for help and allow others to help you. I think it's important to pursue your passion. If you pursue your passion, you have a high level of occupational wellness. You really enjoy and love what you do, and I'm very fortunate to have that. I like to collaborate. I like to help one another. For example, with FitFix now, we have several course partners. Like, someone's expertise may be in youth fitness, so we have him do youth courses. I do a lot of the senior fitness courses. I have a registered dietitian that does the nutrition courses. So, I like to collaborate with other professionals. And I really think it's important to be kind. I think kindness goes a long, long way. And saying that I count, but you count too. I think that's essential. Um,
Yes.
and so my definition, I think, of success would be living a well balanced life, that gives you satisfaction and joy and contentment.
True. Because I think oftentimes what's very important for us to fathom here is we scrutinize everything. And we are always judging ourselves. Did I do this right? Did I do this wrong? It's
Yeah.
okay to be wrong. And as Jane mentioned, all of you here, please listen to this. Don't burn yourself out. It's important to get things done, but don't go all mad over that. So have a good balance in your life, because when you are burnt out, you're not going to be able to perform your best, whether it's on a professional level or on a personal level. So maintaining that balance is very important, because we need energy. We need that energy. Wise amount of energy must be used and channelized in the right direction. So be kind, be compassionate. And as Jane mentioned, whenever you are on your route to success, uplift other people. That is very, very important, because the world today needs that, needs people who support one another, uplift one another, and love one another, keeping away hate, judgment, and all the preconceived notions that we have about other people. So thank you so much, Jane. This was an amazing session with you. I hope the audiences have taken back something worthy and meaningful. You were super positive, super empowering, and inspirational. It was my pleasure having you on my show.
Tenzin, it was my pleasure, and thank you so, so much.
Thank you very much, Jane. Sending love to you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.